goes properly. To do that, we can go in the underground. So, because we want to create that building pad in the basement. And once you go to the same place, to massing inside, you can see building pad on the modifier. You can click on it, and when it's activated, you can draw different shapes with it. We're gonna just draw it now to lose so much time on it. I guess you understand this part. You can just take a rectangle or something and draw it here. Maybe before I draw, something that would be important to mention is where you are placing this building pad. At the moment, I have it here defined under the properties. The height offset is 0, 0. If you remember, when we placed the slab for the basement, we also placed it on 0, 0. Maybe if we place it on 0, 0, they're going to clash with each other. So what we could do, I can stop creating this because I'm not sure what's the thickness of this slab, and I can go to the 3D view again and just click on the slab in order to see how thick it is. Here the name suggests that it's 50 centimeters, but you never know, maybe it's named incorrectly, so I can go to edit type. I'm doing this just to check how thick this slab is, and it shows here that the default thickness is 0.5, which means it's 50 centimeters. I can close this, and then I can go back to the underground, go to massing inside, and then building pad like we did earlier. Now that we know how thick the slab is, we can specify here minus 0.5, since it was 50 centimeter, and we can start drawing. Once you are done drawing it, I hope everyone can follow and is managing to draw it, then you can click on the green tick again to finish it. We can go to the 3D view again to see what happened, and now as we see, we have created a building pad here under the basement slab. This is the building pad, and it's now the terrain automatically recognizes the building pad, and it crops in where the building is. Did everyone manage to follow? Should I repeat this part? Yes. Okay, so first thing I did is that I checked how thick this slab is, because I want to place it under the slab. That's not the most important thing. You can place it as you like and then change the height of this. So let's go to the basement where we want to draw it. And then you go to massing inside, if you're not already there, and then you can see building pad. You click on the building pad, and then you can draw it depending on the shape of your building. In this case, it's easy to draw it with just a rectangle or by pit lines that we explained last week. You hover over a wall, let's say, tab, and then you click on it. Or by rectangle, draw it, then you're done. And then when you're done drawing, you can click on the green tick again and finish it. I'm not going to do it again, since I already have one. Okay, we're going to try to move on a little bit faster. Now we're going to see how to do maybe grouping. Maybe it's important for you to know. We can, in order to do grouping, we go into one of our floor plans and we select whatever is in the floor plan. And when selecting, like we can, if you see in the 3D, it's selecting also what's in the basement. In order to not have that, here in the properties, we can go to, if we go a bit further down, there has to be an option somewhere. View range. is under the extents, there is view range. You can click on edit. And here you basically specify these horizontal planes where you're cutting your building and what is being, what can you see in the ground floor. Sometimes you see elements that are also in the basement, like in this case, because the bottom range is defined to be level below, and we just want it to be associated level. Sometimes you do that when you want to trace something in the ground, in the floor below. You might need it. But in this case, we don't need it, and we want the view depth and the bottom range to be both to the associated level. You click OK. And now, when you are selecting, you can see that it only selects the ground floor elements. I'm just going to show here, while I have these selected, how to group them. In case you want to group them, maybe you have the same floor repeating over and over, and in order to just copy and paste it easily, you can just click here on Create Group. And then you name the group. Let's say just random name, and you can click on OK. Now you have created the group. If you want to edit this group, remove some elements from the group or something, you can activate it by just clicking on it. Whichever element you want to click, now the group is going to be activated, and you can click on Edit Group. Or you need to ungroup it, and you just click on Ungroup. Okay, I'm going to move on now to explaining how to, okay, I can just ungroup it again. We don't really need it to be a group. And I can move on to explain how to add a room. Now that we have, let's say, two different areas here, we can go to the Architecture tab. And under the Architecture tab, you have this section which says Room and Area. And then you can click on Room. Once you click on Room, you can just place it anywhere. And it creates this room stamp. Maybe something that is worth mentioning here, like if you just don't need the room anymore, you can just click on it and delete it. What is worth mentioning is also the room separator that is just close to room. If you click on it and you draw a line wherever you want to separate the room, now as you saw earlier, we could place a room there. But in this case, if we go again and click on room, we can place two different rooms. Because sometimes maybe you have the living room and the kitchen connected, but there's no walls in it. You want to have two different areas, you use the room separator, and you place the room. Then I'm going to just show maybe quickly how to, if you want to detail one of the plans a bit more than the other, you can just go here to the project browser. Like for example, let's go to the section that we made last time. You want, I can open it so that we see it. You want to add some more details into it, but you don't want to do it everywhere in the section. You can just, if you hover over the section with a right click, you go into duplicate view, and then duplicate with detailing. So click on section, right click on section, duplicate view, duplicate with detailing. And it's going to automatically create another view where you can maybe do some, like, maybe in cases you need to add some 2D details or something is not looking so right. Or it could be that you just want to, for example, edit how everything looks, the colors and everything. In order to do that, an example would be that you go into graphic display. Graphic display is here right under visibility graphics, but don't confuse them. This graphic display has to do only with the visuals. And you can click on graphic display here, or GD in your keyboard. And then you have some functions here that maybe, I don't know what would be interesting. Maybe you can edit the background here. And just make it a gradient. There are options like you can make it a sky, an image. Let's keep it gradient in this case. I just want to show you how to edit some visuals, and you can click apply. And then you have something around like some color in the sky, some color in the ground. Maybe not the best colors, but you can edit them. So the thing is that now, if you go to the first section that we already had, it doesn't have these visuals that we added, but the new one that we duplicated has them. Like you might need it like this in some case. I hope you can manage to follow in how to duplicate a view. I can move on into just showing another way of how to create more detailed views. You can go here into view, and you see here call out option. If you click on this call out, you can just draw it by clicking once outside and then just dragging it. And the second, when you do the second click, the call out is created. And then, for example, in this case, I'm creating a call out because in this corner of the building, I want to have some more detail view, or I want to have different scale drawing. And then when I double click on here, just like with this section, or I can go and find it. It was in the project browser, so if I make this bigger, you can see that under the ground floor, it was created here, call out 1. You can also open it there. And then we have another view here, and you can add details to this again. Okay, maybe this is not so much interesting, but it's one of the things that you might need in the future. Then I'm going to just show you how to create a sheet. If you go in the project browser, scroll down, and then you have sheets. Not scheduled, sorry, sheets. There are some by default already created. You can add new sheet by just clicking, right-clicking on the new sheet. And then you can find here the sheets that you need, or you can load if none of these is something that you need, and then you, just like you did with the windows or whichever element it was, you can go backwards. Maybe let's go into English, and then if you have it properly installed, you should have here some title blocks. In this case, yeah, it was here under structural precasts for some reason. Title blocks. No, it's not the same. But it should be here. I guess there's something not properly installed. However, that's how you load a new page, a new sheet. And in this case, I don't need to load one since we already have some created. We can just open one of them. And then you can edit it by double-clicking on it, or edit family, delete the stuff that you don't really need. Due to time constraints, I wouldn't edit it. I can just show you where to do it. You can do it here, edit family, and then delete some stuff that you don't need and then go back. I will just show you how to add stuff into the sheet in order for you to be able to print it. Let's say we want to add the ground floor that we created, and in order to add the ground floor, you just go in the project browser, find where the ground floor is, and then you drag and drop it into the sheet. Now, before I click into the sheet, I can see where I want to place it. It's obviously a bigger scale than what the sheet is made for. I think I opened the A3 sheet, so I can just click again on the ground floor view. And here, in the properties, I can see the view scale, which I can edit and make it, let's say, to 200. And once I've edited that, you can see the ground floor here. I'm moving it right now, but if I want to maybe edit it so that it's not that big all around, I don't care about the surrounding, I can just click on it, double-clicking on it, you have activated the view again, but in the sheet. And you can go here in this ribbon below, and you can see here that there is this option that says show crop region. Once you click on it, it activates a line all around the building. We want to adjust this so that we don't take all the surroundings. We want to make it a bit smaller. We can just click on these edges and move them. And then I can hide this crop region again. And in order to let this go, I double click somewhere outside of the sheet. And now I'm again in the sheet and I can move this around by just clicking on it and dragging. Same way I can add other views as well. And at the end, I can print this. In order to print this, I can just do Control P, which goes into the print settings, or I can go into File. Okay, for some reason it's not responding yet. We just give it a minute. File, print, and then you can choose the printer that you are using. In this case, you can just choose Adobe PDF if you're using, or you can directly go to a printer if you have a printer connected, or there is another thing that we use to use in this case. It's a Mulzip PDF printer. Some of you might know it. Anyway, this is where you choose the printer of your choice. And this you can click on Setup in order to show you some maybe important settings that you have to specify here. Something important is this one. You can choose vector processing or raster processing. It will affect how the PDF looks at the end. For me, I usually choose vector processing. And then this one, usually you leave it centered. Then you can fit to page or you zoom. Fit to page, I'm not sure what it actually does because it won't print properly, so it's suggested that you zoom 100% to the whole page. And then you can specify the quality, whether it's portrait or landscape, like in most of the printers, and the size, which we didn't specify yet. Anyway, once you are done with the settings,